Hi, it's Kim and welcome back for another video. Today we're going to explore my indoor gardening setup. I wanted to show you how I've got everything arranged down here. So at this point in time I only have the one shelf, but I'm getting ready to rearrange everything. Got some new ideas, but I put all my plants here under these two sets of lights here. And I kind of wanted to let you see the setup. I started just bringing in one or two plants. This is my mini jade, and then I also have a few of the other plants, but I put them under an aquarium at first, sealed off with a plastic top. I didn't want any of the bugs and everything on some of these outdoor plants to infest the basement or get loose in the basement or anything, and it did work out right. I set them down inside here. This is a, let me think, I think a 10-gallon aquarium that I had and used before for overwintering the plants. And then I set them down inside, put plastic there under that kind of screen top, and it's a good thing because I put a sticky trap in there and it caught sow bugs, centipedes, millipedes, little critters of all kinds. So once they'd been in there for about 3 or 4 weeks and I didn't see anything additional, then I brought them out. That may be some kind of precaution you want to take, but I most all the time leave out sticky traps if I'm concerned about the plants having any kind of bugs. Now that's a Christmas cactus, I'm sorry, a Thanksgiving cactus that I bought just recently, and I think that's what caused a little bit of an infestation of the gnats. So be careful when you introduce a new plant because you never know what it's going to bring. But I have everything here on these two plants, at least everything I have in the basement. Right now, I don't have everything in the basement. There's some plants that I have upstairs that I keep separated because, especially after I found this infestation of gnats, I didn't want those to spread to the jade plants and the ivies and philodendrons and pothos that I have upstairs, so I kept everything separated here downstairs. But you can see, you know, I have quite a few. Most of these are the tender succulents. That's a trailing jade that I have, and this is the baby sunrose that I brought down from my daughter's bathroom. It just didn't have enough light up there, so I brought it down, kind of snipped a little and took some cuttings to be sure that we wouldn't lose it this year. And it seems to be doing real well. The leaves are nice and shiny. Now this in a little terrarium is watch chain. This grows like crazy for me. Crassula muscosa. It looks real underwater-ish, so I like to put it in there with shells. And it does bloom little tiny yellow flowers. It bloomed in the fall for me, just after bringing it inside. Now, the plants here, the kind of golden-like plants there in the foreground, that was the ones in the aquarium that I safeguarded at first. This one in the front is fine gold leaf. It's what it's called, Sedum hispanicum aureum. It is supposed to be hardy outside, but I can't trust it to live. It's died out on me before, so I've brought it in so I can a little closer to spring, sprout out a lot of its little tips so that I can keep it growing. And the same for this golden Japanese stonecrap. It's a Sedum mechanoi ogon. It is supposed to be hardy in my area here, Zone 6 in Ohio, but I can't get it to live outside. So again, I brought it in. I'm planning to root some of those little tips here so that I can, you know, do a test case, some outside, some inside, and see what happens. Now again, I have a few little tips. I think I've got that identified on the post that accompanies this video. That's the ghost plant and burro's tail that I've got there. I'm just rooting those because they had fallen off and I didn't want to lose my burro's tail. I do have a kind of pathetic looking rosemary, but I'm trying to keep it alive. There's another one in another room that looks a little better than that one. But I just want to keep it alive so I can make a topiary this year. And this is my mini jade, the Portulacaria afra. This is before the Battle of the Mealybugs. I've got that in another video. I'll make reference to that up here in the corner so you can see how I fought off the mealybug invasion. But at this point in time, I hadn't seen any kind of invasion, so I don't know if that came in from the fall and just didn't really take over for a long period of time, or if it again came in on one of these other plants. But after finding those mealybugs, I isolated it from this area. But I do really feel that these LED lights give me a good spectrum. I think they were 4500 spectrum lumens, and it seems to really do well. A lot of my plants have a little bit of color on the edge. This is my little Easter basket plant, hypertufa, that I did. I think it's been a couple of years now. That is some kind of tender plant. Maybe that's one of those, I can't think of the name right now, not the hens and chicks style sempervivum, but the indoor tender ones. Now my cactus has a lot of pups, and it's been like this. I've probably had the pups for 2, maybe 3 years. They've just gotten bigger and bigger. Maybe I'll separate those this year so that I can see if they'll do better and get bigger. This particular plant has seemed to grow very slowly, but again, I've had it in the same pot forever. It might grow better if I, freshened up the dirt and put it by itself and took the babies off of it so they won't maybe take the nutrition from the mom plant. But I really like them. They're really cute little babies that look just like the mama. I don't know what that discoloration and marks on the mother cactus are. I don't really know that much about the cactus, but we'll work on that when I can put that outside this spring if I decide to move it back on outside. I'm really tending to think that I'm going to develop my indoor garden into something that everything stays indoors instead of bringing it outside, bring it back inside, doing it again the next spring, because I don't want to fight the insects and the bugs. Now I'm watering the plants. I do have drainage holes in the bottom. That's one of my styrofoam planters there, not really hypertufa, but it's been planted in this for quite some time, and I think the soil is a little compacted because it seems to just run straight through. So I've got to get those rehydrated, like leave them setting in water for a period of time so they can completely absorb that root ball. But a lot of these will need to be transplanted in the spring, and I'm anxious for it to get warm enough so that I can do that. I love the trailing jade. I'm going to try to also propagate that and get some more of it so that I can have one planter that just has the trailing jade. You can see that just runs through, and I am having a little bit of problem in this particular planter that Japanese stonecrop seems to be, I don't know, a lot of the lower leaves are coming off and dropping, so I need to work on that. Love the little planters with the bunny faces. Aeonium, I'm not sure what those are called. Now I have the wax plant, the Hoya carnosa variegata. I have not had a bloom on this one, but it does grow in with little pink edges and everything. More watch chain. I've got watch chain all over the place. As I said, that just grows like crazy. You put a tiny 1-inch twig in the bottom of a terrarium, and you have this by the end of the season. And I'm talking about over the winter too, because it just grows insanely. I think it's a real attractive little plant. I will probably continue to grow that. It makes a nice trailing plant if you put it in a basket. Now I try to keep the humidity level down here. I was running a dehumidifier, but I think it got a little bit too dry down here. You know, the basement isn't wet or anything, it's a real dry basement. Look at all those terrariums I'm going to fill up. Now the LED whites have worked well for me. I went and bought 4 more. I'm going to expand and put some more shelves. Well, really rearrange. I've got the shelving, but I just have to rearrange the basement. My husband's not real keen on that, but I am planning to expand, do more plants down here under lights, have some new propagation techniques that I'm going to try out on a lot of these plants. These particular lights you can join all together and plug into one outlet in the wall, which I really like that. I've got several outlets, so hey, if I've got several outlets, I may as well fill them up, right? That's not how my husband sees it, but that's how I see it. But I hope you've enjoyed the little tour. I just wanted you to see what I've got set up so far, and we'll have another video when I redo everything else in those terrariums. Well, thanks for watching, and I know you're anxiously awaiting spring like I am. I will be revamping the whole downstairs basement indoor gardening area, and be sure and watch for that video. Thanks.